everybody, welcome to the Doghouse with me, Ria Bow, and him, I got it the right way this time, Mike Phillip, Canada's own from American Hook Radio. How you doing, Mike? Oh, I've got you muted. I can't hear you.
How's that?
Yeah, that worked. Well done, thank you. God, we were nearly there as well. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, and man, I started this new supplement that was recommended to me by my friend, this doctor down in Chicago, and it's crazy. I feel so good. It's like a drug. You feel so good, and it's just this sea vegetable, fucoidan, right? And there's over 900 published studies on it over at PubMed.gov if you just put in fucoidan. But yeah, it's this sea vegetable, and I've been taking it for about a week now, and I feel ridiculously good. Not as good as Justin Cringe backup channel. He is apparently naked.
Really? Whoa, rocking it. Okay.
Naked and listen to Ria.
So when
Why not? Unless he's there for me, I don't know.
Hey, you did do Jolene, right?
I did.
What's the name of the stuff you're taking? What is it called? Where do they get it? Where do I get it? How do we feel good?
So it's called, well, the main ingredient is this sea vegetable fucoidan, but it's in a product called Z Radical from the Longevity Company, and you can actually order it off my website. If anybody wants to get their hands on it to try it out, I'll put my email address into the chat, and I'll help you get your hands on it. But it's fairly inexpensive, and I'm telling you, you feel frickin' great. Like I said, it's like...
What's the money? What's the cost? A month?
I think it's, I would suggest getting 2 of them, but I think it's about $30 US.
So to do it for a month is about $30?
Yep.
Okay.
I would suggest doing 2, for around 60, but, if a person just wanted to try it out and double up on it for 2 weeks, $30 US will do you. And listen, I was reading some research on it, and what it's shown to do is stimulate and activate the growth and production of stem cells.
Wow. So
it's just, it's getting stem cells to work in an adult body where they haven't worked since you were a baby, kind of a thing. And I'm feeling it big time. And,
Good.
I'm a guy that I take a huge amount of supplements, so for me to feel extra good is... Sorry, Kenny Loggins was just calling me from the danger zone. But yeah, if anybody wants to try it out, I'll throw my email address into the chat.
Okay, no problem. So he's going to put the email address. I want to say hi to... I've got some new chat down here so I can read it. Hi, Gary Kempar. Hello. Justin Backup Channel. Hiya, Jack. And Hugh Jass, which I can't read as Hugh Jass anymore. I just read Hugh Jass. So... Hi, Mr. Large Backside, or whatever your name is. Hi, Hugh. We got Night and Day Plumbing as well. Great to see you too, Night and Day. How's the dodgy mouse, Ria? Oh, okay. So what happened? You know what happened last time, right? It all went pear-shaped. I'm on my cheapy backup wired mouse. I have since bought a posh one, though, that I'm waiting for my Mac. And I looked at the price of it and went, you're kidding, right? How much? You could feed sort of a county in the third world for that. So I bought one off eBay, so I've got to wait for it. But I have a right-handed one, but I've been using my left hand for a couple of days, and my shoulder hurts. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how people work out. Right, guys, I'm just going to whip over to the weather and see what's going on. I'm sure I'm going to get some flack, but hey, such is life. Alberta, it's just reloading. It's just reloading them all. Hold it a second. Oh, here we go. Right, Alberta -8, Toronto 1. England +1, which is just above freezing here. Nice, south of France, +11. Malaga, +18. Camrose, which I'm sure is wrong, you're only -1 today. Cairo, yep. +17. Rio de Janeiro, 26. Rome, 14. Cape Town, 21. Moscow, -4. Seoul, Korea, -4. Mumbai, still 27. Wow. Tokyo, +4. Sydney, +19. Oslo, Norway, +4. So they've warmed up as we're getting colder. The Danger Zone with Guddy Admin and Mike. Okay. Right, no problem at all. So what we got, let's just do, if you liking the videos, guys, don't forget to do a thumb up and share it and put it out. I wanted to say thank you to Jack for making the video. Very creative with the talky things and everything. Did you see it, Mike?
Which one?
The one that Justin Trudeau Cringe Channel made.
Not yet. No, I forgot to check it out. I've got to do that as soon as we're done here. It's good?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great.
I assume it would be. It's just, it's cringe. I mean, how can you go wrong, right?
Yeah, right. Jolly decent of you to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
What else we got? Oh, right. So we got, I guess, the accent, right? I'm just going to do a short clip of it because the last one was apparently too easy. So this is a bit of a swerve ball. Where's this person from, okay? Check this out. Have a listen.
Bad cake. Now, a lot of the older generation use the term duck as a compliment. I've never ever known that an animal can be a compliment to a human.
Where's he from?
Can you play that one more time and just turn up the volume on it a little, just a little bit, Ria?
God, it's running flat out, sweetie. I thought that would be quite loud, but I'll do it again.
Bad cake. Now, a lot of the older generation use the term duck as a compliment. I've never ever known that an animal can be a compliment to a human. Until I was growing up, every animal called me a duck. I think.
What do you think? Any ideas? Put it in the chat, guys, if you know where it is. Or I can think of one person that will know where it is, but don't do that, though. So it's more difficult than the last one, right?
Sounds to me like he lives next door to you.
Shut up. He doesn't sound... I don't sound anything like that. That is shocking.
Shocking. It's simply shocking.
It
Well, I
is
never.
shocking. Goodness sake. I love your English accent, by the way, Mike. I think that's fabulous. Right, I'm just going to...
I have an accent?
When you do your sort of English person, your take off of an English person, and I like your sort of older sort of an English sort of dude having a bit of a gas. I quite like that. We got one. Look, we got one for Blackpool, England. Oh, huge ass, Scottish. Love it. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, it sounds English to me. It really does.
Okay, so there's England, although not a big place, it's kind of anywhere bit more than England.
Oh, like I have to be specific somewhere in England?
You know, like Boston is a county inside the US.
Okay, how about Wales?
Okay, so we've got a Wales.
Wales.
We've got a Scottish, and we've got a Blackpool. Not bad. You're not right, but it's not bad. Okay, right. So I'm just going to move over to a bit of chat. I caught this today on the radio yesterday on national radio. Right, it was awful. UK community order for antisocial behaviour. So what they're going to do now is they're now going to notify you of a pre-crime, right? So
what?
Yeah, right. So as well as what started off is someone's notified other people that someone's staring at them for a long period of time. They can now approach something called a community order, and they will notify that person that if you carry on, you could potentially be committing a crime. And it's really scary. And the example was someone staring at somebody. So, God, how Orwellian is that? What do you think to that, Mike? Do you get that?
Yeah. Wow, man. There's so many ways that can go bad.
Oh, it's gone bad.
I mean, yeah. Do you remember that Tom Cruise movie? What was the name of it? Where he was a pre-crime cop. You remember that?
What movie?
I'm having a hard time remembering the name of it, but Tom Cruise was a cop, and he was in a division called pre-crime, and the people that set up pre-crime set him up within the pre-crime system.
Right.
To be charged with a crime that he never committed or wasn't going to commit. It just looked like it, right?
Yeah, Gary says thought crime. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, straight up, Gary. Straight up. Night and Day Solutions. there any truth to the rumor that you've bought all the remaining stock of Antifa t-shirts from Walmart to send to Kevin J. Johnston so he has something worthwhile burning this Christmas? They actually discontinued the Antifa t-shirt. Minority Report, K. Geraldo, KH. Yes, Minority Report. That was the name of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, go watch Minority Report with Tom Cruise if you want to see how this whole pre-crime or thought crime thing can go. And interestingly enough, mentioning Kevin J, he's in court this morning for thought crimes over in Ontario, Canada. So there you go.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's coming to England, guys. It's going to be called a community order. So if someone stares at you or is a potential pre-crime, it's coming to the UK. And you know what it means if it's coming to the UK, don't you? It's not going to be long before it spreads throughout all other countries. So that is so Orwellian, so scary. I just thought I'd bring that up as a quick one, Mike. You got anything caught your eye this week?
Yeah, actually. Half of humans believe in alien life. This is actually being reported by Reuters. You believe in aliens, Rhea?
I kind of want to. There's a lot of me that wants to. And I've got a question about the... I'll tell you in a minute. I'll wait until you finish, but on a similar subject.
Oh, I just thought it was interesting because I don't... I don't. Well, I guess maybe the universe is a pretty big place, but all these people thinking that little green men are going to come down and save the planet, I think it's idiotic. Myself, I don't know, maybe.
Hey, each their own, right? It's all conjecture anyway, isn't it? So who really knows? I saw a great TED talk today on it. Anyway, so it's what I wanted to ask the question. You guys out there, you clever bunch, right? I want to ask the question. On the moon landing, right? The controversial moon landing. I've got to ask you a question. The moon has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity, right?
Okay.
As they bought that, what was it, in the 70s, was it? Something like that. As they bought the lunar lander in, the rocket in the bottom of the lunar lander?
Yeah, the thruster to cushion the landing.
Right. So as that comes into the moon, do they need to ignite that to land it?
Sorry, I you got garbled there. Can you repeat that last statement?
As they go to land on the moon with the lunar lander, that rocket in the bottom, do they have to ignite that to cushion it as it lands?
I don't know. I'd have to go watch the footage that we have from whoever was already on the moon that filmed it landing.
Right, okay. So have we got any comments? Do they need to ignite that rocket on that lunar lander to land that on the moon? They kind of got it, right?
I would think so. I would think so because, there's no nothing to stop the momentum, really.
Totally, it would just crash, wouldn't it, with the gravity? Although it's only a 6, it would just crash into it, i.e. you need the lunar lander to land it, the rocket to land it, and on the way back out. So, question is, right, here we go, look. Did the Russians and China have the first landing on the moon? Story and any question? Right, so, here's the thing, right? I think that they need to trigger that rocket to bring it down gently to land it. But that leads to another question, is when you look at the photos of the lander on the moon, the moon's surface below the lander is completely untouched. So it's kind of left me with a little bit of doubt. I know there's a lot of people that don't think it ever happened, and I'm kind of leaning that way. But I would love an engineer or someone to tell me why that moon surface isn't it's like brushed clean. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we don't have an engineer, but we have a plumber. Night and Day Plumbing says there's no way they landed on the moon. It would have left a crater a mile deep with the low gravity and the dust covering it. You know what? I started kind of looking at that a few years ago. My brother brought it to my attention. And I'm really on the fence about the whole moon landing thing myself. I mean, you've got the lyrics from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication, about the moon landing being filmed in a Hollywood basement. We had Stanley Kubrick. It is said that he was part of that and was going to out it, and that's why they killed him. after he made the movie Eyes Wide Shut. The other thing about it is the Van Allen belt. Okay,
Yeah.
we're told that the Van Allen belt has a huge amount of radiation, and if guys could go through that in that little tin can spaceship, you'd think that they could just go in with that to, say, 3 Mile Island or Chernobyl, right? Because obviously the space station or the space shuttle or the lunar module can withstand huge amounts of radiation bombarding it, right? So, I mean, there's that. I actually had a very intelligent individual articulating a stupid idea to me the other day. And this is somebody that I respect, but the whole flat earth thing. Have you heard of this whole flat earth thing, Rhea?
How can you not have? I've looked into it.
Right. I had a flat earther call my show from the UK and put it on YouTube. I hung up on him.
Lovely. So we've got a couple of comments here. Surfer4. Hi, Surfer4. He's saying that the blast should have made a crater, not to mention the fine dust that should have been flying around the landing. Totally. I mean, when you see them, they took really great pains in showing you the footprints in the moon, didn't they? And they were like half an inch deep. Can you imagine that thing landing with that rocket going... You know what I mean? It's like very suspect. I mentioned this on a show, and they were completely shocked by my behaviour and just even mentioning it.
Well, what show was that?
It was on Dean's show.
Dean's a big fan of moon landing.
Mad English
That's okay.
woman, how dare you?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, and okay, so that's the problem with the whole flat Earth thing. We have been lied to about so many things that it's easy to imagine that we've been lied to about the Earth itself and our geography. I just have a real hard time swallowing that. I really do. But the people that are into the whole flat Earth thing, they're just convinced, and you just don't see it, man. You just don't see it, man. You know, like they think that they gain something if they can convert you to the Church of the Flat Earth. I don't know what they get out of it, or so what? Even if it was, what's the big deal? What's being hidden here? Weird, weird. But I will say this: Kevin was telling me a buddy of his was over in the Middle East, and he was with the military, and they were showing the kids like a beach ball globe, and they were getting quite upset because they were telling them it was the Earth, and they went and some of them got the uncles and brothers and fathers, and they were coming over and jibber jabbering, and their interpreter said, "You got to get out of here now! Like, you got to get out of here." And they were upset at the thought that the Earth was actually a globe and not flat. So this is kind of taking the world by storm, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I personally don't see the importance of it, and I haven't been convinced yet. But with the moon landing being faked, I go more and more in that direction all the time. Cringe over here says, alpha radiation can be stopped with a piece of cardboard, but it's the most damaging. Okay, so they're all wearing cardboard. Fair enough.
Right, so what I want to direct people to regarding the flat Earth thing is we kind of all know Stefan Molyneux, right? He did a live call-in. I like Stefan. He did a live call-in with someone who was kind of brave enough to put it out there and say, look, obviously Stefan's a smart guy, right? And he's putting it over to Stefan, and Stefan's trying to sort of, rather than attack him for his views, just feed it out and get it out there, get all the cards on the table. What are you really thinking? It was superb. Without doubt, the best two-person conversation I've heard on the whole flat Earth thing. So just check that out. We got another one in from Night and Day, Mike. Do you want to grab that one?
I can do that.
Please.
Night and Day Plumbing Solution says, with the technology that was available in the late 60s, it's a wonder they managed to circumnavigate the Earth. Today's mobile phones have more computing capacity. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally.
Remember the old computers? It was like a room, and they always had these big reel-to-reels with a bunch of blinky lights going off. Maybe that was the Hollywoodized version. Maybe I'm thinking Star Trek. And another thing on Star Trek, all the computers talked like this. I'm a computer. Tell me what to do. I don't know what their vision of the future was, but
I love your computer.
I don't know. Right.
Tell me what to do. I've got a bit earlier. Okay, so let's, the whole vacuum tube, says Surfer 4. How does that fit in the equation? Vacuum tubes? Don't know.
Tubes?
Tube?
Oh, like tube driven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm guessing
tube
that's
driven.
it.
Oh, I'm with you. Tube technology. Back in the day stuff. I'm with you, like TVs with a tube sticking out the back.
Yeah. I've got a cousin down in Cincinnati, Ohio, that collects tubes, old ones. He's got ones from Russia and all over the world. It's kind of neat. Kind of a geek.
It is kind of geek. Okay, so we've done the moon landing thing. So that's the question that needs to be asked for me is, do you have to fire that rocket to land that lander on the moon? I think yes, obviously. But, if someone answers yes, then you've got to say, why does the moon's surface look like that? Because it's like brushed and there's a few little footprints. They made sure they filmed. They kind of missed it, right, in the Hollywood movies. They kind of went, oh, klutz. And anyway, that's my take on it. So I wanted to pick up on that. What do we get that from? Aliens. I like the UFO thing. I want to get some of those night things that they can see in the sky. Right, we're going to move it on quickly unless we've got any more. Round Earth, that is. Okay, Mr. Huge. I can't read it as huge ass anymore. Oh no, I've been conditioned. Right. I'm going to go over to a story from Newsbud. Bit more serious. Turkey has just issued an arrest warrant for former CIA top official Graham E. Fuller for involvement in the failed July 2016 coup attempt against Erdogan and the Turkish government. Have you heard about this, Mike?
No, this is the first I've heard of it, but it doesn't surprise me. Erdogan is a straight-up dirtbag, and I have no idea why Turkey is in NATO. They should be kicked out, and Russia should be a part of NATO, to be quite honest. We have far more in common with Russia than Turkey, and the country is very aptly named, I gotta say.
Totally, and Turkey was sort of the original home of the Byzantians, so they were the sort of main ones of the region: Byzantians, Arabs, Moors, and Persians. So he's if you check it out, it's on Newsbud. If you know Newsbud, sure you probably do. They've let this one out as a freebie. A new guy just starting, explaining about this guy Graham E. Fuller was apparently a top CIA dude, and is pointing you to all these videos that are out there. And good stuff. Have you got anything, Mike?
Well, I wanted to bring up, since you're the digital currency person.
How generic.
I was watching Max Kaiser yesterday.
Oh, he's good. And
he was talking about Bitcoin. It is now bigger than J.P. Morgan.
I know.
Bitcoin it's overthrowing the fiat currencies of the planet. Now, what I want to ask you, Ria, do you think that this cryptocurrency thing could overthrow the world banking system, the IMF, the Federal Reserve, as we know it? Do you think that this could crash the British pound, the US dollar, the Canadian dollar overnight? Do you think something like that could happen? I mean, we've got Venezuela making a digital currency now. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that could crash the whole system? Because that's what Max Kaiser is saying. He's saying this is the revolution, overthrowing the banksters that have made everybody's lives hell. This is it. Your thoughts, Ria?
You've just led me into my next story. So at the bottom of the screen, guys, you can see the crypto prices. Bottom left, look at the price of Bitcoin. 15,958.13. right? And the market cap, when Mike and I started this show, the total market cap of digital currency was 270 billion. At the start of the year, it was 50 billion. When Mike and I started the show, it's 260 billion, and now it's 430 billion, right? It's eating currency. So how do I explain this? The thing is with the cryptocurrency is there's two fundamental things. There's the first one is it's permissionless, and two is trustless. These are really important. Because with a bank, when people go, well, what do you want to do cryptocurrency, right? Because I get my dollar and I pay for my coffee or something. Well, the dollar is an instrument of debt, so is the pound, so is the Canadian, and da-da-da-da-da. And with that, you still need the permission of a bank to do the transfer. If a bank says, no, we don't want you to do it, they can just stop that process happening if they want to. Where with cryptocurrency, you can't do that. When you've got my address and I've got your address, I can send whatever I want and there's no debt involved. Yes, there's a small cost, but really not a lot. I'm a big fan, right? I'm going to show you something now. A lot of people know this, but when I mentioned it the other day when I was on Kevin J's show, nobody had heard of it. So I'm going to show you a picture, right? Who knows what this picture is? So who's seen that before then? This is one of the logos on one of my channels, actually, or just the bird is. Mike, ever seen that before?
Ria, I've got a lag in video here, so I cannot see it yet.
Okay, well, just tell me when you can see it.
You'll have to describe it to me.
Tell me when you can see it. We can wait a second. Hopefully you guys can see it.
Yeah, there's a video lag, definitely. It's like last time when you were showing the trajectory of currencies, and it took me a while to see what you were seeing. So I'm just waiting on that right now. Well, so until it does... Oh, there we go. Okay. Getting ready for a world currency. So that looks like, a falcon? Standing on a pile of burning paper dollars?
Okay, so here we go, guys. So drop it in the chat. Has anybody ever seen that before? Do we know the story? Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm sure there's some of you. Hi, Kelly Jacobson. Thank you for saying hi. I've got a separate messaging system here. Don't know who you are, but I'm sure you're cool. Right, so that picture. Anybody got anything to say? There's nothing. Oh, I've lost Mike. Ooh, Cantona. Right, okay, so I'm sure he'll call me back. Let me make some arrangements. So that picture, okay, is the picture of the 1988 Economist. The Economist is owned, I'm doing other stuff here as well. The Economist is owned by the Rothschilds, amongst others. So bear in mind, that cover was in 1988, right? So what that is, that's a phoenix rising from the ashes of fiat currency. Right, so Kelly says he's just recently, but refresh my memory. Okay, 1988 front cover of The Economist, owned by the bankers. The January edition, okay, each year it comes round, holds a bunch of symbolism to tell you what is coming in the future. It's like a secret codey kind of thing, the symbolism. This is the January edition of the 1988. Phoenix rising from the burnt ashes of the dollar. Oh, right. So Mike just sent me a message. His computer's just shut down. And what this is that coin round its neck, the gold coin. Everybody thought in 1990, 1995, 2000 that was gold. Everybody was going, there's going to be a global currency change and it's going to be based on gold, right? But since the crypto coins have come along, they're called coins, and look at the symbol in the middle of the coin as well. Now everybody's thinking that coin is a cryptocurrency coin, right? So if that's right, if we get a global currency change in next year, 2018, we're nearly on top of it, aren't we? They knew 30 years ago. Somehow they knew 30 years ago that we were going to be changing a global currency in 2018. So that tells me that they're planning, the bankers, at least 30 years ahead. Mike's just calling back. Let me just grab him. Okay, we've got him, and he's just coming online, and he's back. Hey, Mike, you okay?
Yeah, sorry everybody. I got talking about the moon landing and cryptocurrencies, and the feds shut me down. Do I need to adjust my camera again here, Ria?
No, you're fine. Just let me bring it up. Guys, so drop something in the chat if you get what I'm saying. I'll run it round again because Mike's just joined me. Let me just get rid of the picture so I can see Mike again. Right. Yeah, you're okay. You need to pull it in a little bit, but it's okay, Mike. Good recovery, I'd say. Kind of, yeah, I quite like the shapes going on.
I was talking away and my computer just shut down. By the way, Kelly Jacobson is great. She joins us every morning over at the Facebook Live with Kevin J. Johnston, and I'm a big fan of Kelly Jacobson. She sent me a wee little heart this morning.
Oh, that's lovely.
Warmed the cockles of mine, I'm telling you right now. So, let's get back up to speed here.
Those kind of things make the world go round. I think that's lovely, Kelly. Right, so he's talking about the picture. Right, so we'll have to run it around for my co-host. Right, here's the picture again. Wait for Mike to get it. Tell me when you can see it, Mike.
Well, I did see it before I went offline. It looked like a falcon standing on a pile of burning currency. Okay, I've got it back here. So yeah, it looks like a falcon with almost looks like a fleur-de-lis on its head.
Right.
Get ready for a world currency. Oh, that's great. World currency. That's wonderful.
Okay, so let me just go into it. That's a phoenix rising from the ashes of a dying, burning fiat currency, right, with a coin round its neck. That's the front cover of the 1988 Economist, owned by the Rothschilds amongst other bankers. So this was in 1988, okay? So if they get that right, if we have a global currency change next year, that says to me that they know 30 years ahead of what the global society and big moves are doing 30 years ahead of time. So right now they're planning at least 30 years ahead if this goes ahead. So that is what I wanted to bring up. And you ask, can cryptocurrency eat the world? And basically, yes, it can. Right? The only thing really to get in the way is the speed of transaction. Like Visa can process colossal amounts of transactions per second, and the blockchain, which is permissionless and trustless and peer-to-peer, have still got to evolve. So the only things stopping Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm a big fan of Amise Go, EOS the sleeping giant, I know somebody just made a couple of quid on that, good for you, night and day, and so on, can actually eat this stuff. So Bitcoin is eating it. And the thing is with Bitcoin is you need to have Bitcoin to trade Bitcoin, unlike the dollar and so on, which they can just do paper contracts and trade it and manipulate the market. So the answer is, Mike, yes, I think it can.
I have another question for you, Ria.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna preface it with this. Google made an AI that could build other AI systems and teach them. Well, what ended up happening is this AI system built one better than itself that was better than anything we could build, and then that one started building and teaching other ones. What's going to happen with artificial intelligence coupled with digital currency? I mean, AI, when it gets into stock trading with digital currency, it's gonna wipe us out.
It's already doing it, Mike. AI is already in it. AI is already trading in Forex. It has been doing it for years.
Okay.
Yeah, so totally. And really at that point, in this point in time, and we don't want to go too hard into the financials, and I agree, Surfer 4, they've got to build the on-ramp and the off-ramp. I have an on-ramp and an off-ramp. You get it on via Coinbase, and I ideally want to keep it in there, but I have an off-ramp, which is a Wirex credit card, and I buy fuel, and it converts it back to fiat again, actually. But you're right, we need coffee shops and people accepting cryptos. When I make videos for people, I accept cryptocurrency, you know. So So AI, so it's a really good question. I've got a video, right? I'm going to, wait, because you've said that, I want to show you a video, okay? Let me just line this up. I'm going to have to jump a story, but I want you to see this video, right? This freaked me out, I tell you, right? So we're just going to go over, sit back. This is a couple of minutes, guys, but you're going to see, it's like a hippie dude, and he's like one of the main guys driving AI and robots, and I learned something during this video that really quite scared me. So let me hop over to the shared screen, and I'm going to be as quick as I can with this and just check this bad boy out. Hopefully you can hear it okay, and here it comes.
Just to give you an idea of what goes on within these robots, so on the physical level, there's a patented material here called Frubber, which is a combination of organic and inorganic compounds with a high degree of viscoelasticity.
Oh, let me bring the resolution down
So that when a motor pulls on it a little bit, it can conform itself quite sensitively to what the motors do. There's a few dozen motors inside the heads of each of these robots, and then there's computers in the torsos of the robots which help with vision processing, and they help with orchestrating the motor movements of the robots. There's also Wi-Fi connection, so that for more advanced thinking and reasoning, when the robots
Wi-Fi
need to do that, they can use computing on the cloud. But while they're separate in body, actually through Wi-Fi connection, the robots, human scale robots and our Hanson Robotics toy robots, they all connect together in the cloud into what we think of as an AI mind clouds. Everything one robot learns out in the world, once privacy...
Right, guys, that was the bit that scared me. I hadn't thought about... let me bring it back. I hadn't thought about the fact that you'd have a robot over here and a robot over there. The learning that this robot does, even if it's not self-learning, can then join to the internet, connect and give it to the other robots. And that kind of scares me quite a lot, Mike. You ever thought about that aspect of it?
I was having a discussion about this with my my brother last night. My brother and his girl came over for supper, and we, the women went and made dinner, and me and my brother went and had a few beers, and we were talking. And he's my brother is the ultimate science geek, possibly just a step below Rhea, but he was talking about Elon Musk has a company that is looking to connect the human brain with the internet, and that he would be able to do it himself and essentially become Lawnmower Man. You know what I mean? His brain connected to the worldwide net, and upload yourself to the internet. So I mean, all the stuff that we saw in movies in the 80s and 90s seems like it's coming so fast now. So incredibly fast. I mean, and what we're hearing about is probably just a minor fraction of what's actually going on and what they do have.
Totally. I mean, there's a thing. Look, we've got some comments in here. That's just creepy, Kelly. Totally. The Borg. Totally. And Surfer 4 Tesla. Totally. I think it's amazing. I discovered a movement from what I feel is the globalists called bioreductionism. Is what they're trying to do is try legally in court. So you go to court for, say, doing something stupid. They're now pitching this prosecution to say an element within your brain is not functioning properly, and describing it and framing it as a software failure. So part of the transhumanism and part of what they're referencing with the robots as coming, as we've just seen, is it's called bioreductionism. And from that you have this prosecuting approach. And I have a couple of guys watching this for me to see if they actually pull it off one day, to say there's a failure in the frontal lobe somewhere, the programming isn't right, and the reference is going to start to go to robots. And as they sort of start to mix the two, like Tesla and all that kind of stuff, that's scary stuff, right, Mike?
Unreal. Yeah. So what are they going to have, technicians that are going to fix you? That reminds me of a Ray Bradbury story that I read when I was a kid. There was a guy on a planet by himself, and he had a robot servant that was supposed to help him with this farming operation that he was doing. And one day the guy got sick, so the robot decided to take him apart and see what was wrong. Well, he killed him, right? But and Surfer 4, Tesla, I don't think it's Tesla. I think it's another company that I might be wrong. I think it's another company that Musk has. I'm not sure 100%, but from what he said, I think it was another division maybe of Tesla, or a separate company. But this whole AI phasing out humanity thing, it's a war on creation. It's trying to make better what we are. It's trying to improve on what God made. And, I believe in God, right? So I don't care what you say, I do. It's a war on reality. It's a war on creation. But here's the thing. I heard a Japanese scientist that's heavily involved in AI. He said that we're not even really close to the intelligence of a rat yet.
Totally. No, I get that. No, they're not. I mean, and what Surfer forces, I think the main drawback is the batteries. I heard only yesterday there's 3 universities, 2 of which are in the US, that are just getting the patent on the same diameter battery, but will give you 300 times more life than we currently have in the mainstream. So they're kind of not far. If it's true, 300 times the life. They're saying when you get an electric car, if you get an electric car, which is kind of coming, you're going to be able to buy like a battery for whatever bucks. You just put it in the car and that'll power it for like 2,000 miles and all that kind of stuff. So these people are working on it big time, and is what I'm seeing with the bioreductionism is they want us to start viewing ourselves as computers that have failures in. And check it out, James Corbett. Everybody knows James Corbett, right? I was on.
Corbett Report.
Yeah, right. And I was speaking with James Evan Pilato last night on Media Monarchy. He's a cool guy. He does a DJ set on Discord. If you want to know that, let me know. But anyway, so what else we got in the messages, Mike? Anything that I have missed?
Surfer 4 says, I think the main drawback is still the battery source to power the AIs. Yeah, I mean, you could unplug them. Justin Cringe Backup Channel says, high-powered EMP devices will be the weapon of the future. I thought of that, too. If you had a robot, say it was a little war bot on tracks with a heavy machine gun sitting in the bush waiting for a non-friendly to walk by, couldn't you just shoot one of its sensors that it uses to see with a paintball gun?
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Of course you could.
If you had a hole, like a Burmese tiger trap, if that thing fell into it, you could just throw a bucket of paint on it and it's screwed. And this goes into the whole UN Agenda 21, UN Agenda 2030, where they want to take vast swaths of the continent and depopulate it and herd everybody into these compact cities. And, you'll have these robots that'll sit in the woods for 20 years until something walks by it that it identifies as an enemy and just shreds it. But we'll have Cringe with his EMP gun. I'll have my SL8 and possibly a paintball gun. I'm looking forward to the coming war with the robots. Night and Day Plumbing Solutions says, I'm getting in early. My doghouse nomination today is the Royal Navy. They just commissioned 2 state-of-the-art multi-billion-dollar aircraft carriers and don't have a single jet to put on either.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there'll be a trade deal already in the back door, ready for that kind of thing going on. Right, guys, I'm just going to lighten it up a bit. I'm going to play you a bit of an accent. We had a Blackpool, a Scottish, and a Welsh. Right, have another listen to the accent. What do we think? Where's this guy from?
Bad cake. Now, a lot of the older generation use the term duck as a compliment. I've never ever known that an animal can be a compliment to a human. Until I was growing up, every animal called me a duck. I was thinking, why should you call me a duck? Why am I a duck? Again?
So what do you think? Any other ideas? Any other takers? Just drop it in the chat. Okay, if you got anything else, Mike, I've got another video clip if we want it.
Yeah. Well, since we were talking about killer robots,
Yeah.
there was a couple of CDs put out by a guy, Austrian Death Machine. And if you ever get a chance to go listen to Austrian Death Machine, do it, because I love these. They're all, the songs are all based on Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Like one is called Get to the Chopper, and they're about Terminators and things like that. So, Kelly says Kevin is on live right now. He must have got out of court. So, good. Kevin's not in jail. But, yeah, go check out Austrian Death Machine. You said you got another video you want to play. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we've got Night and Day said he's a London Cockney. So we've got Cockney, Blackpool, Welsh, Scottish, and that's it so far. So interesting stuff. Right, I've got another clip. Right, this goes on to what we were speaking about. Oh no, I've already done that one. No, this is cannabis legalization in Canada is not what you think. Da, da, da. Right, let me play. Yeah, what and all that. Right, let me bring it up, and you have a listen to this and see what you make of this. I really like this guy being. Well, I like them both, and that's Wham. They're Canadian reporters. Have a listen to this. See what you make of this. I think it's a really cool guy.
Well, what do you say to people like in the cannabis community that are really supportive of this legalization push by Justin Trudeau? Like, what's your message to these people?
Well, you've been fooled. You've been had. It's all bull. And I pardon my French. I don't mean to swear, but you know, it's definitely not legalization. It's never was legalization. You have to have faith in God and in yourselves, you know, and you have to realize that the government only does these things. This legalization that's coming in from the Liberal government is a legalization that they know that they have to be the head of. Otherwise, you know, the people will be the ones bringing it in. So when the people are, you know, this groundswell effect happens, and the people, you know, make enough noise and realize, you know, that a plant. This what
Lost the audio.
I know. Lost
done is the knowledge has really just come to light. You know, people have realized how beneficial this plant is, and what all the lies that the government's been saying. So, you know, the internet is a funny thing. It works two ways. We use it to you know, acquire information about things like cannabis and different things and things going around the world. But the government also does that to acquire information about what we're doing and what, you know, the movements that are going on within us and what we're starting to understand. And so they're watching us on the internet, you know, and they're figuring out that, hey, these guys are realizing that cannabis is really beneficial, and they're sharing this knowledge back and forth. Well, now we have to put our head on that movement and act as if, hey, the government's here and we were your saviors all along, and you know, we're here to bring you legalized cannabis and steal the movement and give you some terrible washed out, big box, grayed out, you know, monopolized system where you're not even allowed. It's actually worse than it was under you know, prohibition. So it's
right. You're getting the idea of that, guys. They're stealing the movement. Yeah. That really annoyed me.
Well, I kind of agree. You know, there's been this discussion going around. I know a lot of people that smoke pot, and it was essentially legal anyways. Really. Listen, when I used to work in the oil patch, that was back when there wasn't such a big safety Nazi thing going on. And I worked on crews where we would all meet at the doghouse. Yeah, that's what they called it, literally. We would all meet up at the doghouse and smoke a big old fat dog rocket and then go to work. and you wouldn't see anybody for like 2 hours, and then they'd start milling out from around the shacks. And honestly, those crews that I worked on were the safest crew. There was no lost time incidents on those crews. I worked on other crews where safety was, constantly nattered and rammed into your head, and I saw some horrific injuries. Horrific. Was that because they weren't smoking pot? No, I wouldn't say that. But pot already was basically legal in Canada. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a damn. I mean, I had a party in my backyard, and a couple of cops showed up, and there was people smoking doobies, and cops just kind of looked at them and said, "Put it out." They weren't like putting people in cuffs. And I think this is a distraction, this whole legalizing pot thing. I think it's a big distraction, and it doesn't matter. But I think that there's a lot of idiots that are going to, "Oh, yay, the government's giving me the freedom to smoke pot." Yeah, daddy government now says you can smoke pot and buy it legally. What a sham. It's growing all over BC. I mean, I don't agree with throwing somebody in jail for growing a plant, but with the rules and the regulations they're going to bring in around it, I kind of agree with this guy. But yeah, it's a non-starter. It's a distraction from actual issues. So I know guys that are making money off of stocks with companies that are growing pot right now, and Justin Cringe backup channel here says, "When I was a young fella, the cops took my weed and smoked it while they laughed at me." Yeah, we had stuff like that happening too around here. There was all kinds of stories about it. Like, the thing with weed is some people treat it like it's some kind of blessed sacrament. It's not. It's no different than tobacco, really. And here's another thing that I get annoyed with, okay? This whole medicinal marijuana is the cure for everything. That's a lie. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe it. Not for 1 second.
No, the flat earth is the cure for everything.
Yeah, flat earth and a big old bag of pot, and you're fine.
Totally. You can just keep walking.
I've worked with a 30-year practicing naturopath for 6 years, who has 6 years of university under his belt, actual practicing doctor, and trust me, pot is not the cure to everything. Kelly Jacobson says Kevin's not in jail. Yeah.
Yay.
Good job, Kevin. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to read a couple of them. I think it's gone off the screen now. Jack said, or Justin Cringe Channel said, the plant should have the same rights as a carrot or something. Yeah, which I think is cool. Gary Kemper says Canada is going the wrong way with weed. Kelly Johnson, hey, he's not in jail. Yay! Justin Cringe. When I was a young fella, the cops. Oh yeah, you've already done that one. Night and Day. By the way, guys, this is by far the best show you've put out to date. Great content and fluidity of discussion. Nice fluidity.
Thanks, mate.
Fluidity. 4-syllable words. Yeah. Posh crowd. And right, and then Kelly Johnson. Josh was the interviewee, wasn't he, or the interviewer? No, the interviewer. And Justin Cringe. Cheech said cured his butt cancer with weed. That's Cheech and Chong, right?
Yeah, Cheech Marin. Cheech Marin cured his ass cancer with weed. Well, he can put it wherever he wants.
Do you know what I mean? Liberal and everything. Oh, we've got Thunderjet says 1867. Have I missed something?
What's the reference, Thunderjet? Welcome to the chat, by the way. I don't think I've seen you in here before. 1867. What's the reference, Thunderjet?
Okay, so wait until he types something out, and I'll bring up another one. So, yeah, so I think Jack got it right, actually. Justin Cringe. It should have about the same status as a carrot, shouldn't it? Or a dandelion or something. Or
yeah, it's a plant.
totally. It's
Just a
like
plant.
there's mushrooms growing wild and all that, and you can get nuts on those, can't you? So, Thunderjet.
Surfer 4 says medicinal does work, Mike. Listen, yeah, okay, it'll work for some things, but so I know somebody that was plagued with seizures. He was having them several times a day. He got some cannabis oil and put a drop of it on a cracker a day and stopped having seizures. Fine. Yeah, that's fine. But you can also do that with anything with omegas in it. Not only that, but it's an herb. You have to understand herbology. Herbology is good for certain things. In fact, drugs are synthesized from herbology. They'll take an herb that has 240 active constituents and one or two of those that actually lowers blood pressure, and then they'll change a couple molecules, extract it, and call it Gaverminex or something like that. But it's not the cure to everything. Herbology is not a cure. It's the same thing as a drug. It'll patch over or override a naturally occurring system, but I just have a different understanding of it than you. Yeah, you can stop seizures with it, but you can also do that with omega-3, 6, and 9. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I don't know if Surfer 4 sort of meant it like that. I don't know. It's a wide open argument, isn't it? It's obviously not a cure for
Again, if you just...
back. Okay, we kind of lost the stream there for a second. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Jimmy Chong said it did it with marijuana. Oh yeah, I've missed the Thunderbolt one about Pierre. Can you still see the Pierre one? Oh, let us always remember that Pierre Trudeau, what he did to our country, his son's still trying to finish it. Mike, that's your report.
Yeah, what he's referring to, Pierre Elliott Trudeau took away the power of the Bank of Canada. Check out the Comer lawsuit. He took the power from the Bank of Canada to issue interest-free loans to the provinces, which is what we built our infrastructure on after World War II, and signed us over to borrowing from European families. Kind of the same situation as the Federal Reserve. Pierre Elliott, I'll tell you what, the name Trudeau should be a swear word across Canada. There should be nowhere where those people can hide. The Trudeaus are the worst people that have ever come along in this country. But listen, Thunderjet, listen to my interview at AmericanHawkRadio.com, the YouTube channel, after we're done here with Doug Force. Turns out Trudeau was running ball on a big lie that Canada's even a country. It's not. Canada's not even a country. There's no Articles of Confederation. I could go on and on and on, but we've got more to get to, and we're running out of time. Contact me after. I put my email address at the top of the chat, AmericanHawkRadio@gmail.com. Thunderjet says, what about alcohol? I find it's more destructive than weed. Yeah, alcohol's terrible. Terrible. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Right, okay, let me pick it up from there. You're on a flyer there.
Go ahead.
Whoa, go on, Mike. Just finish it up, and you was on one there.
Okay, I'm just going to read the last two comments here. Night and Day Plumbing. I tried some weed recently. A guy gave me a while back. Sat in my drawer for ages. Then I smoked it. Oh, my God. I was staggering around like I was drunk. Phew. That was some shit.
What on earth made him pick that moment? Sold the bank.
Trudeau's just using this for tax purpose to invest his agenda with Soros. It's a big tax grab. That's all it is, for sure.
Okay, let's
sold the
move
Bank
on.
of Canada to the Rothschilds. Yes, he did. Go on.
He did. Rothschilds have got their finger. Well, nearly everything, but pretty much everything. And the front cover of the 1980, they own the magazine. Right, let's whip down this because we're going out on time. FDA just approved Smart Pill antidepressants, so government can track you as they force medicate you. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, recently approved what may be the world's first smart pill. The pill with a sensor that digitally tracks if the patient have digested or ingested their medication. Further through I had to sort of cut it out. So a bit further in it, it says the very drug with which the FDA just approved for bipolar disorders should be reduced or not taken if the same people develop impulsive gambling, shopping, eating and sexual behaviour. So it makes you go compulsive. But they're now going to be able to say you've got to take this medicine, you take this pill, this will tell us where you are and if you've taken the drugs or not. That's pretty scary stuff, right? We'll have to whiz through
Yeah,
this.
I think it'll be used for people with, healthcare plans, or if you're, say, on welfare or something like that, and a doctor orders you to take a psych drug, then you'll have your welfare cut off if you don't take it. Or, if you're under some kind of a court order, then they can track it, which, eventually the big plan, if you've read any Aldous Huxley or Margaret Atwood, is to drug everybody. And yeah, I actually read a story several years ago how that Saudi Arabia was experimenting with a chip that they could put inside criminals, that if they wandered off the path, went outside of an area they were supposed to be, it would release cyanide and kill them instantly at the behest of whoever was controlling it. So what a frickin' crazy world we live in, hey?
Oh, and it is some more, right? So we got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I quite like that. Jack says they can't make me swallow microchips. That's quite crazy. It is crazy. And they're tracking you as well. That's all that DARPA stuff. Right, I'm going to move on to another one because we're running out of time. God, that went by quick, didn't it? Oh, my God.
We are out of time, but let's keep going.
Okay, right, here's another one. Why are American farmers killing themselves in a record number? I'm just feeling Monsanto all over this. Last year, a study by Centre of Disease Control, the Prevention, CDC, found that people working in agriculture, including farmers, farm labourers, ranchers, fishers and lumber harvesters, take their lives at a rate higher than the other occupations. The data suggests that the suicide rates of agricultural workers in 17 states was nearly 5 times higher compared with that in the general population. Check these numbers out, right, of farmers offing themselves. I don't know it's Monsanto, but I just think it absolutely, excuse me, stinks of it. Check out these numbers.
The same thing happened in India when the farmers were forced to use the seed with the Terminator gene.
And all
so that
that.
The seed couldn't.
I'm going to get.
Yeah, they were losing their farms and losing their crops, and they were committing suicide in huge numbers. And yeah, in India, the farmers kill themselves by drinking Roundup.
Yeah.
I've seen guys in the bar thinking that they're tough doing a shot of Roundup. I'm not joking. Like, that's cool and tough. Like to take a shot of Roundup. I'm not joking. Like you're some kind of a bad ass. Like, wow.
Okay,
dude.
check out these numbers.
I've seen it.
The US farmer suicide crisis echoes the much larger suicide crisis happening globally. An Australian farmer dies by suicide every 4 days. One kills himself every 4 days. In the UK, one farmer a week takes his own life. In France, one farmer dies by suicide every 2 days. In India, more than 270,000 farmers have died since 1995, which is what your comment was. The numbers. So basically, around the world, or various different countries, they're killing themselves between once every 2 days and once a week. Wow, that's just shocking numbers, right? Okay, so we've kind of run out of time, haven't we? I can't do all the stories, so anything you want to cover before we close out, Mike?
I think I'm good for today. I already did an hour with for Kevin this morning, and now an hour over here, and I've got some other things I need to do. But I just want to say thanks to everybody that's coming out. We're a fairly new show, and it's going to get better all the time, largely due to Rhea here. And Thunderjet 1040, he says, big thank you to Justin Cringe for letting me know about this program. Great show. You know what? Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. And if all of you could spread the word about the Doghouse, that would be great. I will be live myself tomorrow from 2 to 4 Central Standard Time on Americanuck Radio. That's American UCK Radio.com. We are syndicated by the Genesis Communications Network, and I will be interviewing the head of the National Firearms Association, which is basically the Canadian NRA, about new proposed regulations for Canadian law-abiding firearm owners. I'll also be reading some absolutely hilarious, politically correct fairy tales that you can pass along to your children so that they can grow up to be snowflakes and retarded.
Totally. I've heard some of the stories. They're far out, aren't they? I mean, how many people have we got in the chat, by the way? What, 4 or 5 or 6? Do you know?
Something like that. There's 9 watching right now.
Okay.
Let's get that up to 1,000 and then 1 million.
The
How's that
giddy
sound?
heights. Hold them back. Right, okay, guys. Again, it's one of those live things, isn't it? People sort of start to come in the door. They come across it. Should we carry on? Should we not? Thank you, Jack. You're very kind. And I can see the messages now. I've now got another screen. Oh, my God. And I can read the messages much more clearly. I've got bigger writing with or without glasses, so I'm able to participate in the chat, you know, because I want to be part of the chat, and that's the way it is. Right, you've done your finals, Mike. Let me check my finals. Right, I want last go at the accent. Let's just go at the accent one more time.
Bad cake. Now, a lot of the older generation use the term duck as a compliment. I've never ever known that an animal can be a compliment to a human. Until I was growing up, every now and then call me a duck. I was thinking, why should you call me a duck? Why am I a duck? Again, if you're visiting and you need a toilet, don't call it a toilet. Call it a bog. I need a bog. I need a shit on a bog. But say you're walking down the street and someone says, do you want a butty? They're not gay.
So, we got any other takers? Where's he from? We've had a Blackpool. We've had a Wales. We've had a Scottish. Where else did we? Oh, we had a Cockney, which is brilliant. And thank you for that, I might add. Any other takers? Any other idea where he's from? We got any other takers? We've just got to wait for the lag to come
Surfer
in.
says Irish.
Great. It could be Irish, though, I guess. Because I guess we all sound the same to you guys, don't we? I don't know. You know. Does he sound the same as me, Mike?
Well, Rhea, all British accents sound the same to me. I mean, some of them are different, but the majority of them sound very similar to me.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I'd just check that out. That's what I thought. Okay, all right. So he is from. Have we got any takers? Oh, we got Irish. Good for putting one in there. He's from a place called Yorkshire, and it's a really, really broad accent, and would kind of be a million miles different from my accent, but I appreciate it sounds the same to you, which is really odd, but hey, that's such is life.
Yorkshire, is that like the pudding?
Yes, totally. And
I have another question for you.
Go on then.
What size are the girls in Wales?
What size are the girls in Wales? You're setting me right up there, right? That is a proper setup. They're all beautiful no matter how they come, you know.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? The same size. How big are the girls where you are, Mike, in Camrose?
You breaking up, Rhea?
How big are girls in Mike?
You broke up there, Rhea.
Oh, sorry. Mike, what's to go in the doghouse?
Oh, in the doghouse? Gay robots.
Gay robots out selling cleaning kits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, another thing, for those of you who weren't on the last show, we're going to make $1 million by selling cleaning kits for sex bots. It'll just be a bottle brush and a bottle of spray nine, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, back to you, Rhea.
Okay, yeah. Thunderbolt says Welsh. It was Yorkshire. And the culture of Yorkshire is known for speaking its mind, what they call calling a spade, and that's what it's about. For the doghouse,
Like
so you're
already.
going gay robots. I'm going bioreductionism, the very topic that they're trying to get people in court with a prosecution for something isn't working properly and making it trying to make us believe that we're the same as robots. So that's what I'm putting in the doghouse today. Guys, don't forget to do a thumbs up. Tell your friends. Bring them along. Let's have a chuckle. This is a bit more of a considered one, this one. The last one was more wild. This is quite nice to be able to run it around and as well. So I kind of love them both. My mum used to make the best Yorkshire pudding. Good for you, Mr. Arse. How about the Wells? No need for a gay robot. There are real gays everywhere. Ooh, so in you go. Right, guys, we're coming to an end. I'm going to do a few shout outs. I want to do a shout out for a YouTube channel called Black Pigeon Speaks, if you've heard of him. Black Pigeon Speaks. Great. The guys interviewing the cannabis farmer was World Alternative Media, based in Canada. Good guys. Really good guys, actually. A must-watch shout-out is Citizen 4, which is the original footage live of Edward Snowden doing his thing, escaping from the US, trying to get to wherever he was going. Citizen 4, check it out. I mean, Oliver Stone did a remake, but this is the real McCoy, the real footage as it's happening. Assange is in it. Really good, really good. Website shout out, because I was speaking with James Evans Pilato of MediaMonarchy.com. I've got to give a shout out to MediaMonarchy.com. So check them out. Don't forget to like and share. Love and peace always from the UK, me, Ria Bow. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard. But I'll play you out some music. Bye, guys.